The witch bottle, hidden protection in British folk magic. For centuries, ordinary people across Britain believed that unseen forces could influence their lives. Illness, sudden misfortune, unexplained pain, or repeated bad luck were sometimes interpreted as the result of harmful magic. To protect themselves from these dangers, people developed many defensive traditions. One of the most unusual and fascinating of these protective practices was the creation of a witch bottle. A witch bottle was a simple object, yet it carried deep meaning for the people who made it. At first glance, it might appear to be an ordinary glass bottle or ceramic jar, but hidden inside were carefully chosen objects believed to trap harmful magic. These bottles were typically filled with sharp items such as bent pins, nails, needles, and sometimes pieces of broken metal. In many cases, they also contained personal materials belonging to the individual seeking protection. Hair clippings, nail fragments, or sometimes even urine were placed inside the bottle. Once the bottle had been filled, it would usually be sealed and hidden somewhere within the house. Many were buried beneath the hearth, placed under the floorboards, or concealed near the doorway. The purpose of the bottle was protective. According to traditional belief, if someone attempted to curse the household or send harmful magic toward its inhabitants, the negative force would be drawn to the bottle rather than to the people. Once the harmful influence entered the bottle, the sharp objects inside were believed to trap it permanently. This idea may seem unusual today, but within the worldview of earlier centuries, it made a certain kind of sense. People believed that magic, whether benevolent or malicious, could travel toward a target much like an unseen energy. By placing a specially prepared container within the house, families hoped to intercept that energy before it could reach them. The practice of creating witch bottles appears to have been particularly common during the 16th and 17th centuries. This was a time when belief in witchcraft and supernatural harm was widespread across Europe. England experienced periods of intense fear surrounding witchcraft. Communities sometimes accused individuals of causing illness, crop failure, or livestock deaths through magical means. In such an atmosphere of uncertainty, people naturally looked for ways to protect themselves and their families. Witch bottles were one of the many defensive strategies used during this time. One of the earliest recorded examples dates to the 17th century. Written accounts from that period describe individuals suffering from mysterious illnesses believed to have been caused by witchcraft. In some cases, cunning folk or local practitioners recommended creating a witch bottle as a remedy. The idea was not necessarily to attack the suspected witch, but rather to neutralize the harmful influence that had already been sent. Interestingly, these bottles were often heated near a fire before being buried. Some historical instructions suggested placing the filled bottle in the hearth or exposing it to heat. The heating process was believed to intensify the trapping effect. As the bottle warmed, it was thought that the harmful magic would become agitated and confined within the container. Over time, many of these bottles were forgotten. Families moved away, houses were renovated, and new generations often had no knowledge of the objects hidden within their walls and foundations. But centuries later, archaeologists and builders began to rediscover them. During renovations of historic buildings in Britain, workers occasionally uncovered sealed bottles buried beneath floors or hidden in chimneys. When these objects were examined, researchers noticed a pattern. Many of the bottles contained the same combination of materials: pins, nails, iron fragments, and sometimes biological remains. These discoveries confirmed that witch bottles were not isolated curiosities, but part of a much broader tradition of household protection. Some examples have been found in particularly interesting locations. In several historic homes, bottles were discovered buried beneath the hearthstones. This placement was not random. The hearth was considered the heart of the household. It provided warmth, food, and a gathering place for the family. Protecting the hearth was therefore believed to protect the entire home. Other bottles were discovered beneath thresholds or near doorways. Doorways held special meaning in traditional belief systems. They were seen as boundaries between the safe interior of the home and the unpredictable outside world. Placing a protective object at that boundary was intended to stop harmful forces from entering. Archaeologists have now identified hundreds of witch bottles across Britain. One particularly well-known example was discovered in Greenwich in the early 2000s. The bottle was found beneath the floor of a house and dated to the 17th century. When researchers examined the contents, they found dozens of bent pins along with traces of human material. This discovery helped confirm that the historical accounts describing witch bottles were accurate. It also demonstrated how seriously people once took the idea of magical protection. What makes witch bottles particularly interesting to historians is that they represent a form of everyday magic practiced by ordinary people. This was not the dramatic ritual magic often imagined in popular culture. Instead, it was quiet, practical, and deeply rooted in the concerns of daily life. People worried about illness, livestock, harvests, and the safety of their families. Protective traditions like the witch bottle offered a sense of security in a world where many dangers seemed invisible and unpredictable. The witch bottle also reflects a broader pattern in traditional folk magic. Many protective practices relied on simple objects rather than elaborate rituals. Pins, nails, shoes, herbs, and household tools were frequently used in magical traditions. These objects were familiar, easily available, and already part of everyday life. Because they were so ordinary, they could easily be hidden within a building without attracting attention. In many ways, the quiet nature of these practices helped them survive for centuries. Even today, new witch bottles continue to be discovered during building restorations. Each discovery provides another small window into the beliefs and fears of earlier generations. For historians and archaeologists, these objects are valuable evidence of how people once tried to understand and manage the unseen forces they believed shaped their world. They remind us that folk magic was not merely superstition. It was a practical response to uncertainty. In times when medicine was limited and scientific explanations were not widely understood, protective traditions offered reassurance. The witch bottle was one of those traditions. A small object hidden quietly beneath a home, meant to guard the people who lived there. Today, these bottles stand as fascinating reminders of Britain's hidden magical past. They reveal a world where protection was built directly into the fabric of everyday life.